Why are a lot of unregistered diet plans a really bad idea? Hey guys, welcome back to the show, welcome back to the diary, and yes, diet plans. When I say unregistered diet plans, I mean ones that aren't given to you specifically by your doctor. Things like Weight Watchers and other things like that. So you're looking at the Weight Watchers diet plan, you're looking at, say, seafood diet. No, not the seafood and eat diet, the other one. Amongst other diets. Those diets are really kind of normal, pretty much bad for you. Some diets can work, some diets don't. It depends on what the diet is and what you're going for. Personally, I don't touch any of those kind of diets because I don't believe they work properly. I am not necessarily in the sense a yo-yo dieter, but I am essentially a yo-yo dieter in the sense that I will put on weight, I'll take it off again, and I'll put it back on again. But that's the thing. That's quite normal for people to do, taking off the weight, putting it back on again. There are so many problems in which people gain weight. Comfort eating is a big one for a lot of people. Depression hits people in different ways, and quite a few people turn to food to deal with their depression. It's like, I'm so depressed, I don't know what to do, I can't take these things anymore, I'll eat, because eating makes me feel happy, or every time I eat something, I feel better. That's not necessarily me, I don't deal with food that way, but as some people might have noticed, or some people who know me personally know, I have a massive Dr. Pepper addiction, and that's what puts on the weight. The Dr. Pepper and the fact that I tend to sit on my butt a lot. I sit on my butt and then do a lot of exercise, mainly because of my knees. I physically cannot do particular exercises because of my knees. In my video I have Weird AF Knees, I explain why that is. I literally cannot do the exercises the physios have given me to strengthen the muscles around my knees because they don't seem to listen. It hurts the bone to do those exercises. Yes, it strengthens the muscles, yes, it helps the joint, but it hurts the bone. It feels like every single time I'm about to do it, or every single time I'm going through it, I physically cannot do it because it feels like it's about to dislocate, it's about to go. But the reason, as I was going to say, the reason why I feel a lot of diets are not good is because if you look at the Weight Watchers branded food, or the Watch Your Weight branded food, I think it's called, that type of branded food, if you look at the ingredients in it, you will see, yes, it's low in fat. But if you look at what's there, you'll see that it's high in salt, more than likely high in sugar, and everything else in between. And it's like that to bring back the taste and the flavour and everything else. It's not actually good for you in that sense. Just remember the food pie, not the food pyramid, the food pie. The food pie tells you exactly how much of each food group you should be having. That's why it's sized that way. It's not because there's more in that food group, it's that's how much of said food pie or said pie you should be having. So if you think of not just every meal but every day as an actual pie in terms of your meals, you want to be making up your meals with what's on that food pie. So you got more fruit and vegetables, a bit of meat, a bit of bread, a bit of dairy, and a tiny bit of fat and sugar. Yes, my personal food pie looks a bit different because I've recently found out that I am gaining a lactose intolerance. It's not really a full lactose allergy or anything like that, because I can still sort of eat cheese, but I cannot stomach milk without serious pains and needing the bathroom several times in the space of an hour. That's no good. So what I'm really trying to say is, especially things like the Atkins diet. The Atkins diet was one that I was trying to think of earlier, but I couldn't remember the name. If you want to go on a particular kind of diet, that's fine. My tips and advice is just basically talk to your doctor. Say something like, I'm getting pretty tired with my body weight. I know it's over. I know I shouldn't be like this. I don't know what to do. I've had a look at a few diets. Some look okay. I don't know whether I'd be able to cope. I don't know what to do. Which one do you reckon would suit me best? And then your doctor will do a load of tests, do BMI, do blood tests, do everything like that. Make sure you're fit and healthy for the diet as it is anyway. And then they will give you a general idea of what kind of diet you should be going on. For those of you who don't know, BMI is the body mass index. It is basically made up of a selection of numbers of fat, muscle, and everything else. So they basically pinch your skin, see how much stretch there is, or how much muscle you have, or anything like that. So they work out how much muscle to fat there is in your body. They work it out not just by all those numbers, but by height as well. So say you're about 5 foot, you should be a certain weight at 5 foot. And if you're over that, you're overweight. If you're under that, you're underweight. But just because you're underweight doesn't mean to say you're ill. The only time you should worry about being under or overweight for your height is if the doctor says this is a dangerous level of either side. That's the only time you need to worry, because to be honest with you, the BMI is awkward. Really, really awkward, because it will say that for someone like my height I should be, I don't know, 6-7 stone, and I'm 4'8". Now I could technically be 8 stone and look really scrawny and look really skinny. Maybe not scrawny, but really skinny. And I would essentially be considered overweight, because that's 8 stone and it's supposed to be something like 6 for my height. Some of you who know the body mass index will actually be nodding along going, yeah, that's muscle. Exactly. They don't always take into account, well, the index itself doesn't always take into account muscle and fat, because, in case you didn't know, muscle actually weighs more than fat does. So you can weigh a certain amount and be skinny, and you could be obese. You see why the body mass index doesn't quite fully work? It's kind of a bit like, what? But again, my personal tips and advice for genuine dieting, if you want to diet, is to just do it from home. You don't need a special plan. You don't need, I mean, you might need a bit of help from your doctor just to make sure that you're doing it right and that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for your height, weight, and getting down to what level you should be at, or what level you want to be at. While you should be aiming for what level you're supposed to be at for your height and everything, like I just said, the BMI can be a bit off. But the tips are: cut down on your sweets, cut down on your sugar, cut down on the caffeine, and you will feel a lot better. Caffeine, while it perks you up, as most people know, caffeine is a stimulant. It perks you right up. But that's the thing, it's one of those really high level and then sudden drop. If you've ever tried to stay up all night through to the next day, and even to the next night so you can sleep the next night, you will notice halfway through the day you are because you've had caffeine. That's what caffeine does. So if you cut out the caffeine, you're going to feel a lot less of that. You're going to feel like if you really wanted to, you could do that. You could go through a whole night, a whole day, and then sleep the next night with no problems, no issues, no energy crash or anything like that. Cutting out the sugar is really good as well. I'm sort of 50-50 on the sugar tax. The sugar tax, well, it's a good idea. Sugar's nasty. Sugar's bad for you. All the diet drinks are left untaxed. And actually the diet drinks are often more dangerous for you in the long run than the full sugar ones are. I mean, some of these sweeteners that are used in our drinks in the UK have been banned in other countries because they've had links, or they've suspected links to cancer. And we're letting our citizens who have diabetes drink these drinks? Sure, that's wise. Because I don't. It's like, do you think that's wise? Because I don't. Basically, the other one is to home cook your takeaways. If you absolutely love takeaways, find a way of home cooking them. Buy a bit of white fish. I mean, to be honest, guys, breading, I say breading, buttering up your fish is actually quite easy. You don't actually need a deep fat fryer, to be honest with you. You really don't. While deep fat fryers help, you just don't need one. Just a little bit of oil in the pan, maybe a bit more than just a little bit. Bit of egg on the fish, and then breadcrumbs and everything else. Or flour if you so wish. And then just fry it in the pan. And there you have crispy coated fish. Cooked from scratch in an oil you know. That's the other thing. Takeaways. How do you know what oil they're using? How do you know they're not using palm oil? So just basically the biggest tip is know what you're eating. If you cook it from home, cook it from scratch, you'll know what you're eating, and then you'll be able to cut out what you can't eat or what you shouldn't be eating, or what's causing you to put weight on, or what can cause people to put weight on in general. Now, when I say cut out, I don't mean you have to cut it out completely, because like I said, the food pie, you should be having some of it. Some people say that a fry-up is actually one of the healthiest meals or meal types you can have, because it has some of every food group in it. However, the reason why it's been bashed so much as the most unhealthy breakfast in the world is because of how it's cooked. Grill your bacon, grill your sausages, toast your bread, don't fry it, grill your mushrooms, grill your tomatoes, oven cook your black pudding, then fry it. Yes, this will all take a bit longer than it does to fry it. But trust me, you will be thanking me and everyone else that's saying grill it rather than fry it, because you will notice how much better it tastes without all of that nasty fat on there. Now I understand you can't necessarily grill an egg. If you're going for fried egg, you can't really grill you can't grill a fried egg, guys. It just doesn't work. So if you want fried eggs, feel free to fry them, that's fine. Just use things like Frylight, or again, I'd be careful of light oil. Double check what's in the light oil. If it's higher in salt or whatever, then don't bother, but just go for the healthier oils rather than the seriously unhealthy oils. And have an orange juice or a coffee with it. Someone say black coffee, I say go for it and have a milky coffee, guys, because you need dairy, and dairy's good for you. That's how I would do a healthier version of that nasty but delicious fry up. Just do healthy versions is the biggest tip. Do healthy versions of the junk food. Because then, if you do the healthy versions of the junk food, you're then kind of training your body to go, no, I don't want that nasty, greasy version. I want the nice version. This reminds me so much of the one time that I decided to retry tinned minced beef. Minced beef is probably one of my favourite types of beef to eat in general. I can eat it with mash, I can eat it with pasta, I can eat it with anything, pretty much. But because I know how to make it myself, and I've made it myself, I've made minced sauce myself, I know how to do it. Having that one tin of minced beef, I couldn't eat it, I couldn't finish it. Because I was there like, this really doesn't taste nice. This really doesn't taste right. Because I know how to make it from scratch. That's the point I'm trying to make. If you know how to make something from scratch, you will find that you no longer like the other version, the less from scratch version, the takeaway version, the quick version, or the greasy version, because you know how to make it. And your body's like, what's this rubbish? It looks like the other thing, but it doesn't taste like it. Take it away. No. So basically, guys, just stay sort of clear. Just keep knowledgeable, guys. Know what you're doing with diets. If you think something's a fad diet, essentially in the rulings of people are doing it just because it's cool. If you think it's a fad diet, don't do it. Because you thinking it's a fad diet will stop it working. Which is why I said it works for some people and it doesn't work for others. It works for some people because that's how they've done it. They've made it up on the spot. They've done it. And they've just had results. Other people, it's gone, oh my god, yay! This amazing new diet is so many results, they're amazing. And then it comes around to them and it's like, well, I look and feel no different. What? So basically, guys, that's it really. Just know what you're doing. Get advice if you need it. Decide very, very carefully on a diet scheme if you are going for a diet scheme. Stay clear of all the stupid, all the stupid Weight Watchers food, because you just don't need it. You don't need that stuff. The corn stuff you still also don't need. My mum's philosophy is, if I don't eat meat, why would I want something that's pretending to be meat? It's an interesting one for you. If I don't eat meat, why would I want something that pretends to be meat? Think about it. If you agree with it, and stick away from corn, because corn's just not going to do anything for you. If you still want that meaty style, but with less fat and less everything else, then go for it. Try corn. I haven't personally tried it. I cannot say what it tastes like, because I don't know. But from those who have, they say it's good. So if you want to try it, try it. But today's question is, are you on any kind of diet scheme at the moment? If so, let me know down below. And is it working for you? Let me know that down below as well. If not, what kind of diet schemes have you looked into? Do you want the go on a diet scheme? Do you reckon that my idea of diet scheme in terms of just doing it from home? By the way, exercise is key. It's not just about exercise, it's about the food you eat. So I mentioned the food more than actual exercise, because it's all about the food you eat. So just let me know down below how your diet's going. If you're on a diet scheme, what diet scheme are you on? And if not, what ones have you looked at? Are you even wanting to go on a diet scheme? So that's it for me today, guys. I will see you tomorrow. See ya.
Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit. Get a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another crime scene. Get a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another crime.